Great morning, everybody. Woo! We are on point this morning. Oh, had a couple of difficulties there, but I am back and it is good to be with everybody this morning. How's everybody doing this morning? I think I'm having a little bit of difficulty. Okay, I have it now. That's called the human side. When you're live, oh my goodness, can you have some challenges? But it is great to have you on board with me this morning. Want to say good morning to Regina Jones Jenkins. How are you doing? Robbie Abukar, how are you? And I am reaching out to you this week. Thank you for sending me your phone number. I am thrilled and delighted. Great morning, Dr. Wright. Saw you in the feed and thank you very much. And I sent you a text message and a package. How about that? So I want to say great morning to everyone. Pamela Stone, I saw you this morning in the feed. Thank you. I want to say Nelly Rosario, good morning. Chantel Bethea, everybody, I want to say good morning to Robin Tennille. Saw your message from last week. Dr. Zaire, want to say you are absolutely amazing. Really enjoying reconnecting with you. Jackie Burgess out of the great country of Trinidad. Glad to have you. And my goodness, my friend Alexis Winder, who is the keto chef. Oh my goodness. She makes a cheesecake to die for. Okay, with all that said and all of the great mornings in tow, I want to share with you that we are talking once again about money. However, how are we talking about it? We're actually following the 4 C's. We have talked about, we are talking about money, but we followed the 4 C's. We have talked about collateral, we've talked about rather cash, we've talked about credit, we've talked about your character. And so now we are going to be talking this morning about the collateral, that property, that component of wealth, because we are starting with the foundation. And what precipitated this conversation had to do with my discussion with a vice president of a bank. And she was talking about the fact that people were not qualifying. In fact, she said, we appreciate our community involvement. However, she anticipated the community involvement was actually going to lead to the bank being able to do loans for businesses in the community. And what she found was that people were not qualifying. So we had a discussion about what was the issue, what was the problem, what was the concern. And that issue fell in right into wealth and how do we create wealth. And so as a result of that, it led me to take a departure and follow up on the 4 C's. So we've talked about your character. Who are you? How are you in the space? How are you viewed? We talked about that. We talked about the cash and the fact that you do need to have some money. Where could you be investing your money so that it would grow? And then we talked about credit and how pivotal credit is. So the last C, there are 4 C's and then there's a baby C. So sometimes people will call it 5 C's. And actually I'm going to follow that 5th C. So today is the 4th C in Show Me the Money and the 4 C's of money. So before we get underway, before we even do anything else, I have got to say, there are more details. There's much more information than we're going to discuss this morning. And it can actually be found on an app. It can be found on the web. And I've got to tell you, if you are not a member yet, then you want to be a member, because while I'm giving you good content, what you will get out of this particular app, this particular membership, is significant detail. You'll get to practice things. You'll get to go in and change the numbers and look at the outcome in advance. We refer to the income shifting as one of the most pivotal components to your financial growth. For those of us that are getting paid a check, you can create wealth with that check, and the federal government is helping you to do that. It's called income shifting. From the income shifting, you are then able to shift those dollars to pay down debt, to invest, and to take advantage of the tax benefit that will come as a result of this membership. Because not only are you a member, but you also get to write it off as a business. It is a twofer. And you know I'm going to put this in the thread, and that is, I want you to go to Brent Harding. I'm sorry, yes, Brent Harding .myecon, excuse me, I'm having a brain burp here, .myecon, oh, wait a second, here we go, Brent Harding at myecon.net. I can't believe, there are days where you just have to sit up here and say to yourself, what is going on? And your brain burps just fall into your head. And so I want you to go there and get the information that you need to get. And I want to say, good morning, Pamela Stone. Thank you very much for being on board with me. Oh my goodness, you talk about having some brain burps. I am having a brain burp. So let me give you a like and some love and get my head squared on right, because it wasn't. So I'm going to try that one more time. I cannot believe that I did not follow my own script. So let me do it again. Brent Harding, thank you. I'm having the biggest brain burp, but I'll tell you what, I don't mind, because it shows that I am human. And so now, BrentHarding.myecon, that's what I should say, .net. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I was starting to lose my little marbles, but I think I've got it right now. And so now I'm ready to hit the enter button, and that should be working. So with that being said, let's get into it. We are talking this morning about the collateral. So again, you know what we've talked about in advance, and I've shared with you that the foundation, the absolute foundation of wealth is your real estate. Real estate, whether it's good times, hard times, real estate ain't going anywhere. They're not creating any more earth. So what part of the earth are you actually going to get? And collateral, that is in this case, I'm talking about real estate. Now, you could be talking about owning your own business, and if there's some collateral associated with it, then still same discussion. So what is the value of the collateral that you want to purchase? Is there any equity that's coming with that collateral, or are you going to purchase collateral and then the equity comes? So you are hoping and praying that the values will go up, or you're standing by waiting for the values to go up. I'm going to submit to you that when you are looking for collateral, and in this case, because real estate is the basis of wealth, I'm going to submit to you that you're going to want to find property that has some equity built in it. And I bet you're saying, Brent, are you kidding me? Right now, get some property that has equity in it? Yes, I am saying property that has equity in it. So if you are living in the city, you may be looking for property that's 20, 30 miles away that you are then purchasing 2-family, 3-family, so that you have tenants that are paying their rent, and that rent is being used to pay the mortgage. Brent, I really don't want to be a landlord. I really want to just purchase a single family home. Well, I'll tell you what. You want to purchase property that has equity in it, and that is a multifamily if in fact this is your first property. I'm going to submit to you that when you have 3 properties, then you can talk about, I want to now get a single family piece of property. Why? Because you are growing the wealth. You are in the wealth state. You are positioned where you have something to pass on to the next generation that becomes your legacy. Are you hearing me? At least have one piece of investment property and grow that so that you can make that property then help purchase that single family. I'm suggesting 3. However, I will be happy for you if you've got 1 and 1 so that you can be positioned for wealth. So let's talk about that collateral. First thing when we're talking about that collateral is that it's a multi-family piece of property. If you already live in a single family piece of property, can you take equity out of that property to purchase that multi-family property? Because maybe somebody didn't say this to you right from the beginning. So I'm now sharing with you, whatever your case may be. If you own property and it's a single family, then you want a multi-family piece of property. If you do not own and this is your first one, then you want the multi-family piece of property. If you are living in a multi-family piece of property, then you want another multi-family piece of property. And you are looking for collateral that has equity. So when you are going to that lender to get the loan that you're looking for, the lender is also looking, does this property have any equity? Because see, they're gauging also, they are looking at the bell curve and they are anticipating if property values go up, how much equity will you have in a certain period of time? So a lender is anticipating, looking for you to have a certain amount of equity. Now, some will say, well, Brent, lenders lend up to 95% loan to value. That is true. However, when they are doing that for you, there's something called private mortgage insurance. Anything beyond 80%, in other words, the loan to value is at 80%. Anything beyond 80% is a compilation of your down payment and then the lender is taking risk. So let's say you're putting 5% down. And the lender, then there is a gap. There's 5%, there's 80, that's the LTV, so that's 85%. So that's another 15% that the lender is taking risk on for that purchase. So therein lies something huge. They are again looking at your character. They are looking at your credit. They are looking at your cash. Those things are now it's even more intense. The more that you're putting down, the stronger the position. However, at the rate of cost of 3 families, I mean, right now, if you get a 3-family here in Boston for $500,000, that is a deal. People will say, wow, how did that happen? That becomes a deal. So if you're looking at even 5% of 500,000, it's a lot of cash. And so with that being said, the more cash down you have, the more a lender is feeling comfortable. And there may be some hiccups in your file, your loan package. However, they're based on the amount that you're putting down. There may be levels of flexibility with that transaction. But even at 10% of 500,000, that's $50,000. I get it. I do get it. And in this climate, what have I shared with you? I've shared with you that presently we have 2 curves occurring. You remember the bell curve? There is the other side. So we are on the downslope of one cycle and the uptick of a second cycle. And 2018 is the crossroad of that cycle. And so what does that mean? That means that you may want to continue those investments that you have, let them build and give you ROI so that when the storm comes, and it's coming, It's just a matter. It's not a question of is it coming or not. It is a question of when. And so we know, those of us that have been listening, that have been watching, we know that the storm is coming and that we're at a crossroad. And so at that crossroad, what does that mean for you? That means that you may want to continue the investment. You may want to watch that ROI of your investment grow. Why? So that you are prepared when deals come along, because cash and credit are king. So this may be a time for us to talk about what's your next step relative to that collateral. And that happens in segment 2. How about that? So what are we talking about today? We are talking about collateral, and we are talking about money. And we are adding, what are you going to do right now? So with that being said, we've got some acknowledgments to make, and acknowledgments and shout outs. So I want to give an acknowledgement to the early riser. I'll tell you, we are memorializing her and acknowledging that every week she's an early riser so that another person can take on, so that the battle can go on for who is the early riser. So we are memorializing Joyce Swinson. You are memorialized as our continuing early riser. That is right. You are now memorialized. So hashtag Joyce Swinson is memorialized. She is up at the crack of dawn, either exercising or she's already attending a meeting. She is in her wealth plan. And by the way, Joyce, I'm going to send you the information that we have talked about because you sent me the signal last week. With that being said, I want to give a shout out to none other than Pamela Stone. I hope that you're watching her broadcast. Pamela, please put your information into the feed so folks can be watching you on Wednesdays. And I am enthusiastic. She was with me in early on, a year after I started the broadcast, and she has flourished. She has her own broadcast, and she is talking good and real stuff. So I want to say good morning to Pamela Stone. I want to also say good morning to Nellie Rosario, although I've already said that. For those of you who acknowledged right in the beginning of the broadcast this morning, I want to give an acknowledgement to you. And Dr. Wright, I saw your thanks on my text message, so I appreciate that. So we have got some more acknowledgments. I want to acknowledge Dr. Nancy Zayer. Nancy and I were at an event that was put on by Boss Lady News. Britt Johnson, want to acknowledge her. And I will be working out of her facility. I will be working out of her studio coming up very shortly. We're going to be talking about that. So I will have a new background, and I am very enthusiastic about that. I want to say I also appreciate Britt Johnson. She is a giver, truly a giver. There's always a give and take. And she has said, hey, Brent, you gave me nuggets. Well, I'll tell you what, I give them back to you. In fact, you can see me on Brent S. Harding Company. If you go up to that Facebook page, I was at an event that she did called Professional Development Photo Shoot. Excellent first event. She's going to be doing those on a quarterly basis, and I will be there, and I encourage you to be there as well. And so with that being said, I want to again extend an invitation. It took me a little bit this morning. You'd have thought I wasn't a proficient at doing this, but yes, I am. I want to share with you, what are we going to do with our phones? We're going to hit the share button, and I want to give a thanks and a shout out to Al Peters for sharing our broadcast last week. Thank you so much. It is greatly appreciated. He hit the share button, and I am thankful for that. But I want to say, not only hit the share button because we've got great content, but also pass on and take a look this afternoon right after the broadcast at BrentHarding.myecon.net and become a member. The tools there are amazing, and they will help you to get to your destination. If your destination is wealth, you're going to get there. I can promise you. I am utilizing it. If you want to follow the cash flow of your personal life, where you are spending your money, there's the cash flow manager. Believe you me, I have cut back on some of my coffee. You know, when you wake up, when you take a look at your cash flow manager and realize that you have spent $25 to $30 in a week on coffee, you just got to, the cash flow manager will help you see where your money is being spent. So you want to go up to brentharding.myecon.net and take a serious look at management, at joining, and also the income shifting. I have to tell you, Albertha Bogan talks about income shifting. You give her a moment, you are going to shift your income. So for those of us that are working a 40-40 plan, we're working 40 hours a week, and retirement at 65, through income shifting, you are going to cause yourself to retire early. So let's go into segment number 2, the collateral itself. We've talked about the collateral in that I've said you want to have a 2-family, you want to have a 3-family, you want to have income producing real estate as part of your portfolio. Get used to that word portfolio, #portfolio, because that's what you want to create for yourself. Real estate is a foundation of that portfolio. Where do you find the properties, the collateral? I want to share something very powerful with you that a developer shared with me, and that is this. When you see the sidewalks being redone, too late. Let me say that again. When you see the sidewalks being refurbished, you see new sidewalks coming in, that is not the neighborhood to be purchasing in. That neighborhood is at its zenith. The pricing is at an all-time height. It is time to find another location. That is right. It is time to find another location to purchase or invest in. Why? Because it has already happened. The investors have already come. They're scooping up property. And they have probably already purchased the property that has the equity in it. Yes. Now, that's not to say that a deal can't be found. It is to say that it's going to be a heck of a lot more challenging to find property that has equity, or property that you can put X amount of dollars in and make it make money for you. So what is it that you want to do? I'm going to submit to you that in that collateral, you may want to literally start combing the streets. You may want to start going to different neighborhoods and looking at property, looking at neighborhoods, and have a set of notes with you already that you can literally slide under somebody's door, and you can say, I love this neighborhood. Do you know anybody in the neighborhood that may be considering selling their property? I would be interested in purchasing it. Yeah, I recall taking a class with Alan Kaczynski on investing and on collateral. And we literally bought a piece of property in a week and got an ROI. And it literally came from driving in neighborhoods, checking out property. That property that's abandoned may not necessarily be abandoned. It may be a property that is worth giving more than the usual consideration, that some TLC may cause it to be raised up and positioned so that you can get an ROI. I'm going to submit to you not a single family piece of property, that you literally want a 3-family piece of property. Why do you want a 3-family piece of property? You want that 3-family piece of property because it will bring investment to you. And if you're a first timer, you live on one of the floors in the property, you rent out the other 2, you hold that property for at least a good year to build a good mortgage history, and then you look for that next piece of collateral. Now, collateral is not relegated, it's not limited to property, to real estate. You could have collateral in jewelry. You could have collateral in art. You could have collateral in stock. what you're looking for, collateral, from my perspective, is anything that produces an ROI that you could actually borrow against. And I'm not talking about pawn shops, because you're looking for something that can continue to grow revenue and that you can borrow against, that if you look at the spread between what's being paid out, what you're getting in an ROI versus what it will cost you to borrow the money, that you will then have for short-term investment or long-term investment. If you can hit both of those, then that's great collateral. And so I'm not limiting it. I'm just saying here that real estate, we're not producing any more earth. Gold, they're producing more gold. They're producing more jewelry. They're producing more stock. However, there's something very powerful about real estate and its ability to appreciate so that you can pull cash out and continue on another investment. That's what I'm talking about. So with that being said, you are making it your business to know neighborhoods. You're making it your business to read up on the neighborhoods, to go in and take a look at data that's available. You're using Zillow. You're using vehicles that will allow you to understand those neighborhoods and get prepared for the storm. Get your cash ready. In fact, I'm going to submit to you that you go in to your credit union or your lending institution and that you get a pre-approval. Find out what your strengths are in a loan application, what the shortcomings are, so that you can build on those. Income shift, get some income shift from your W-4. Create more income, create more dollars that can be invested so that you can grow the ROI, so that you are prepared. You know the neighborhood that you want to purchase in. You know the kind of property that is available, and that you anticipate what's going to be happening in about 2020. In fact, 2020 is considered a very pivotal year. So you're watching neighborhoods now. We are on the downside of the norm, on the uptick of the storm, and that you know where it is that you want to purchase and what you want to take advantage of. So, with that being said, I want to see some fingers. I want to see some hashtags, please. Some hashtags around what we're doing. Hashtag around collateral, hashtag around sidewalks, hashtag around uptick. Get the fingers moving. Let folks know that there's information here that's worthy of listening to. I'm feeling great about this morning, and I will tell you something. What I'm asking you to do, yes, I am doing. Money is being put into investments. The challenge is sometimes you do not get it out exactly when you need it to take care of things. So you want to have long-term investment, short-term investment. Let the money work. Make the money work so that when the storm comes, you are on point and ready for it. So with that being said, hit the share button and let's listen in. Let's hit the share and hear the announcements. This fall, I am launching Brent Working. Yay! Brent Working is all about cutting deals in the room. It is designed for entrepreneurs, for business individuals, and for those that want to do business, that they have something that they want to sell. There's always somebody that wants to buy. And this is not a discount house. This is, can we cut a deal right in the room? Did you meet somebody? Can you put together an LOI? And can you complete the deal? We're going to cut down on the need to have 7 to 12 interactions before you can ask for business, because when you come in this room, it is nothing but the business. I want to share with you at our last pre-launch, I'm telling you, $15,500 worth of business set in less than an hour and a half. Now, that was with a small number of people. So can you imagine what it's like when we have a room of 25? Yes, we're limiting it to 25 because we want 25 serious folks that want to be in the room come this fall. And then we're going to have introductions to Brent working, and then we're going to have actual Brent working sessions in which it is about the deal. It is about the checkbook. That's what's going to be happening. So you're going to be on the lookout this fall. There are going to be private invitations, and then there are going to be public invitations. And those of you that are a part of the Wealth Warrior broadcast, y'all get private invitations. Are you ready to Brent work? Yes. Want to give an announcement that I have a Facebook page, Brent S. Harding Company. I am rolling a lot of stuff into the Brent S. Harding Company page. You want to start looking at that. There are nuggets in there. It is open to everybody. It is a public page. I will be sharing with you the launch of the things that I am doing. I've got an awesome team that I'm working with, and we are revamping me, and I am truly excited about that. So we're taking the summer to do the ramp, and then come the fall, it is launch, 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 launch. But right now, the Brent S. Harding Facebook page is open for business. Go up and take a look. Now, what are economists saying? Well, I want to share with you that a colleague of mine is actually put together a news feed that is going to have financial news for you. He has already launched it, and I am actually looking at that page. Spoke with him last night, and I am really enthusiastic for him. I'm going to be linking with him. You're going to hear details about that page. What is happening right now in the world of what economists are saying is that people need locations where they can get quick bites of news and then read into stories so that they can make informed decisions. And as we are at the place right now, we're at a spot where we need information. And I will tell you that when I say we need information, what I mean by that is we need to be able to get quick pieces of information and then go further in depth. And so his page, I will be putting that on for next week. But economists are saying it's getting more and more challenging to find places where you can get as much content as possible. We are getting inundated. And with that inundating, we need to actually prioritize where we are getting our information from and what we're specifically looking for. In fact, I recall and working with Dr. Wright that she shared in our schedules, we need to schedule time to read. We need to schedule time to look at information so that we can get the nuggets that we need and move forward. We are actually on information overload, and that's what economists are saying. And as a result of information overload, what is happening is we're not reading. And in fact, in some instances, we're not listening to the audiobooks because there's too much. We have to start scheduling in. I literally schedule in phone calls to make. And it took me a long time. I will tell you, I remember Dr. Wright saying, listen, you have got to put that in. You've got to now pick up the phone. You need to schedule things in. And I will tell you truly, it took me 3 months to get away from the paper and into the scheduling. And then set it for reminders so that you will actually do that. Tom Maloney, I have scheduled my time in to give you a buzz because Tom said, Brent, I've got a referral for you. I have scheduled time in. I'm not waiting for you to call me. I'm calling you. That's the kind of thing we need to do. Really important. And I was astonished to hear economists speak about the fact that we're on information overload. Why was I surprised by that? Because generally when I am looking for economist information, economists are oftentimes dealing with the economy. There was a departure, and I was seeing a systematic departure, and they were speaking to the fact that people are on information overload. So what suggestion did they give? They gave a suggestion literally to list out who and what, where and what information you want to get, and then go through that list however many times. Maybe you do it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and your Monday list says that you're going to look at this, you're going to do social media, you're going to do this, this, and this. On Wednesday, you're going to do this, this, and this. On Friday, you're going to do this, this, and this. And what they've also said is you designate a specific amount of time, and that's it. How many times have we said, I'm going to go up on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or Instagram, I'm going to go up on them for 10 minutes. And it is 2 hours later because you say, I'm going to like something, somebody's made a comment, I'm going to do something of something. And the next thing you know, 2 hours out of your day have been spent. And when an economist says that to you, you got to sit there and go, wow, it's an eye-opener. So again, what they are sharing with us is we're on information overload. When you are on a confused mind does not make a decision. When you are on information overload, you can't, many people are not prone to even paying attention to their own economy. That's why my econ is my economy, your economy. And we have to be paying attention to that. We can't pay attention to that if we're on information overload. And so economists this week are saying, manage your information so you can manage your economy. I like that. So let's do a recap. What have we talked about today? I've opened up with sharing with you that our collateral is king right now for this conversation. Our collateral is a part of the process. It's a part of the 4 C's. It's a part of a loan process. We talked about character has been discussed. That was the first C. We went from character to cash to credit, and now we're on collateral. Collateral is real estate. Collateral can be a hard item. Collateral can be a soft item. What is a hard item? And hard item is something that's tangible. I can pick it up. It is a tangible item. It can be real estate. It can be art. It can be jewelry. It can be anything that is a hard item. It can be inventory. That is collateral. It has a value. What is that value? I shared with you that in collateral, what you're looking for is the gap between the value that's being assigned and what you have as equity. You're always looking for something that positions you for equity. You like to walk into an equity position. So if you're buying real estate, if the value is $500,000 and your purchase price is $400,000, you've got $100,000 worth of equity. I also gave you a serious nugget. What was that nugget, Brent? That nugget was this. If you go into a neighborhood, if real estate is your thing, and I am imploring you to have real estate as the foundation of your wealth plan, if you go into a neighborhood and you are seeing sidewalks that are being redone, I'm going to submit it is too late. Time to check out another neighborhood. Now, let me put a disclaimer. I am not a real estate agent. I am not a real estate broker. I'm not a real estate salesperson. I am an individual who has 20 years of experience, who has purchased, who has owned, who has made mistakes. And so I now am coming back. Not only do I want my life back, I want it back better. This time to learn, take that history, utilize it, and go forward and leave history in the rear view mirror. How about that? With that being said, we also talked about neighborhoods and where to go, to be willing to go 20 to 30 miles out to find property where you can get equity. Now, You may say, hey, Brent, this is such a good deal. I'm willing to wait and allow the property to appreciate because I know I'm going to hold on to it for 2, 3, 4 years. So if it doesn't, so if I walk in without equity, however, I anticipate there's going to be 5% worth of equity coming up, then so be it. As long as you are okay with that, you are willing to do that. Thank you for the love, by the way, then it's all good. Pick your industry and utilize it wisely. If your collateral is your stock, you can borrow against stock. If there's somebody that's willing to lend you, you can borrow against stock. Make sure you understand the spread. This is the value, this is the cost, this is what I'm going to borrow, this is what I'm going to borrow for. I can pay back the debt, but the investment I want to make is a wise investment. We gave out acknowledgments. I acknowledged everybody. I hope if I didn't acknowledge you, then I will acknowledge you post. But we memorialized Joyce Swinson. Yes, she is now memorialized as she is the early riser. So now we will have another early riser. So get out there, get up, get ready for the morning, and let me know that you are here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Put yourself in the feed. We gave out nuggets this morning. Make sure those nuggets are in the feed. We acknowledged Pamela Stone. She's got an awesome broadcast. I love her to pieces. We acknowledge Janice McManus, thank you and greetings. I just saw her message right now, so I want to show her. I'm trying to show her some love there with my love note. Good morning to you. There I go. I got a love note in for Janice, and I thank her so much. Nelly Rosario, want to say good morning. Dr. Wright, good morning. To those of you who gave me thumbs up this morning, I want to say thank you. Want to announce that I have my business page, Brent S. Harding Company. I am rolling everything in so you will see the totality of Brent S. Harding. Got an awesome video up on there about networking. So take a look, give me a like, let me know that you like that. Whether you are going networking for business, networking for career, you're looking for somebody that can help advance your career, guess what? You're going to find great nuggets on Brent S. Harding Company. Also, this fall, we will be launching Brentworking. I will give you a heads up about Brentworking over in the Brent S. Harding Company page on Facebook. With that being said, share today. They can watch the replay. It's going to be up for a while. We are now going to be moving a lot of the replays onto a Wealth Warrior YouTube channel. My group is working on that with me. I will give you details about that. Also, by next week, we're going to give you that rolling news. I want to call it a news magazine that one of my colleagues has put together. I am very excited about that because you will get continuous information. You'll be able to look at that on a daily basis. It's got great content. He is pulled from different locations to create a vertical news content, and we like to acknowledge those. Shout outs to Dr. Zaire, Nancy Zaire, Tom Maloney, glad to have been with you this week, Britt Johnson, and Boss Lady News. I thank you so much. It has been my pleasure to be with you this morning. My name is Brent Harding, host of the Wealth Warrior broadcast. Go out today. Not only be extraordinary, not only be effervescent, be productive. I will see you next week, same channel, same time. Bye now.